Good evening. My name is Andy Goldstein. I'm a teacher at Omni Middle School and the secretary of the Palm Beach County Classroom Teachers Association. Tonight I'm speaking as an individual. I'm also the proud father of a 7-year-old daughter who will be entering 2nd grade this year at one of our public elementary schools. I'd like to say a few things about the school district's proposed budget. A budget for an organization is a description of its values and priorities. At last week's special meeting, speakers presented a segment about the district's capital budget. They said that some items, such as roofs that have been due to be replaced, have instead been patched up year after year. The speaker said that this actually shortens the lives of the buildings and ends up costing the district more money than if it had just replaced the roofs when they needed to be replaced. Patches. Instead of dealing forthrightly with what is needed, patches have been applied. I wish to compare the capital budget with the budget for what some call human capital, a term which I detest because people are people, not capital. However, I'm using the term because I find it to be useful in making a comparison. Those of us entering the midpoint of our career entered this profession with the promise of the steps. Yes, they were a promise. The promise they made to us was that if we dedicate ourselves to serving our students and our profession and our community by teaching, the district would commit to us through a regular series of increments that would ensure we could grow, have a family, construct a worthwhile life for ourselves, our families, and serve our community as we do so. And that when we reached our time to retire, we would be assured that we would be able to retire and enter the next phase of our lives safe in the knowledge that we had earned a good retirement through our service to our community as teachers. All that changed about a decade ago when our district and the school board at that time voted to do away with the steps. Thank you, Dr. Robinson, for your support of our teachers at that time with your vote against doing away with the steps. We've been subject to a patch here, a patch there, each patch leaving teachers more and more behind as the cost of everything else, housing, food, raising children, student loans, went up, as did the stress on our teachers and our families. This is not valuing our teachers. And if the district does not value its own teachers, can it really make a valid claim to value our students? At the end of this past school year, at our school's celebratory luncheon, one teacher came up to me, I was the lead rep, and practically in tears told me she couldn't keep up with paying her bills on the salary she was making, and she was single. We have a broken salary schedule. It's affecting our teachers adversely, and it needs to be fixed. Last week, Mr. Burke, the district's chief operating officer, said that the average teacher salary right now is $54,000. And this talk will be continued by Ellen Baker.
Thank you. Mrs. Baker.
Hi, I'm Ellen Baker, an ESC teacher at Dwyer High School. Good evening. First, I wanted to thank Marcia Andrews and Frank Barbieri for last week speaking up and out about teacher salaries. I appreciate it. Teachers that I had talked to scratch their heads. Is that with benefits? Because for those of us entering the midpoint of our career, our 15th year, we are nowhere near earning $54,000 as a salary. And at the rate we have been going, we may never get there. A decade ago, the district and the board at the time took away the step structure and has never replaced it with any meaningful salary structure. It's almost as if the idea of teachers is treated as a year-to-year temporary thing rather than a long-term consideration. By applying year-by-year patches to the salary schedule instead of dealing with the whole salary structure, the district is alienating its own teachers, demoralizing us and hurting our families. The district is hurting its own prospects of recruiting quality teachers in the future because few people will choose to go to college to train for a profession that has such a meager return that the means of supporting one's own family becomes very questionable. And so it is time to replace the current policy of treating teacher salaries as a temporary year-by-year problem in which patches are administered and time to start doing the real work of coming up with a salary structure, a salary schedule that makes sense over the course of an entire teaching career. As one teacher put it, the death of the steps was the death of hope. As far as advancing along a salary schedule, she told me, there is nothing to hope for as a teacher. No hope that things might get better in the future. We, your teachers, who have committed our lives, our careers, our talents, and our interests to working with kids and helping them grow and learn, deserve better. It is time to fix the salary structure for teachers, rather than continuing to apply makeshift patches. Together, we can figure out how. Thank you.
Thank you very much.